Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel. This is ALK Guidance and today we're doing a huge reading. Bear with me, but I did pull pretty much all of my oracles because I wanted to see how these timelines are overlapping. We are in the middle of the summer and I started feeling like something is going to drastically change across the whole globe. So I feel like there's a shift coming. So I wanted to pull kind of energies in a way where we can see the past timeline and the new timeline and the underlying energies of this transition. So I started with these cards that are actually postcards, but it's a special major arcana, and we got the Chariot and we also got the Star. Whereas the underlying energy is Temperance. So what we are currently doing is doing the inner self-balancing, right? So Temperance is a major arcana card of healing, of that emotional healing. So we are going, well, in the past or up until now, we have been in these healing and expanding spaces, mental spaces, physical spaces, where they have taught us what needs to be healed, right? And in this timeline, so wherever you are energetically, I'm going to be talking about the past and the future, kind of. So each card on the left is the past and on the right is the future, and how it applies to each timeline. So the new timeline that's happening in this major arcana energy is the Star, and this star is a bit different. It reminds me of the Merkaba, which is a force on its own. You can, put it in your search bars and look up Merkaba. It's an interesting concept of everything needing to be in balance, right? So as above, so below is what I'm getting from this card. It's like this internal spin that has also started this healing, right? And so if we take it as a below and above, they have to be in balance, right? They have to be equal in size to create this star shape, or this spinning Merkaba is what I'm getting from this star. And it's also pointing me to the balance of the light and the dark, and everything is going on within as it is in our planet, in our surroundings. Next up, we have higher power. So I'm just going to kind of slowly dive into these oracles. I haven't done a lot of spiritual work when it comes to channeling, so my channel is a bit back to square one, let's say, because I was trying to save a kitten that had a horrible disease. It had a viral infection and he died in 4 days. So I was processing, I don't even know which day it is, honestly, because he was just the best little kitten, sent by God, taken away from the devil. And it's been a lot, but I do have a new spirit guide in return. So yeah, a lot of healing has had to, be done to understand what has happened, what's going on, and why. So if you've been going through similar stuff, it's this July, right? It's this summer, man. Girl, there's something about this summer being very, like, the topic of expansion is going to keep resurfacing. We do have the higher power, we have thinker and soulmates. So I did see 444, but I didn't call it out. But now we have 4-4 with the thinker, and some of the cards are overturned already, some aren't, because I tried to ask them to come out unturned. But we do have expansion here with the light oracle. So, and again, I just noticed it has a Merkaba inside, right? So this downward pointing triangle, upward pointing triangle, forming kind of like the David star, rather. So this is a Abrahamic concept, right? It's a concept from Torah, but it's about this internal and external expansion that has to happen when it comes to this balance. And what I was getting from the thinker, being the number 44, was in the past you have probably thought a lot about your masculine energy, meaning you have either been thinking about your divine masculines, or you have been thinking about your inner divine masculine, right? And you are expanding with a higher power here. And I don't know if you'll see, but higher power is number 4 and thinker is number 44. And we have 41. So number 4 is very significant. You could be seeing the sequences of 4s. That's going to be like a silent nudge from the universe that you are on the right track of that inner stability. Because in the future, you're getting your soulmate. There's something that is going to unlock your heart, meaning it doesn't have to be a person. It could just be a project, a work, or hanging out with your kids, or enjoying nature. There's something that you'll be doing differently that is going to create this soulmate type of relationship between you and that person or situation. Because this is all connected to a past life situation. Isis, Artemis, and Kuan Yin have come out. Okay, so a lot of you guys listening to this have a very, very strong connection to higher power or Most High God, your angels, your ancestors, your guides. It's just you're so in tune with your environment, and you have been in your past lives. That's why it was easier in this life for you to kind of be a step ahead of other people when it comes to intuition. What I'm getting here is you have been guided through so many lifetimes, and you still have the same ancestors, because these ancestors that I'm talking about haven't been for many timelines, they haven't been your physical family. They have been these embodied soul codes on different planets, in different universes. And now even on this one, you have the same galactic DNA composition. So it's really easy for these ancestors to find you across space and time, especially if you know and are able to call on to them. They, even if you don't know how to call them, they always find you because of your energetic vibration imprint. And they're trying to tell you that you and your loved ones are safe, even if there has been a passing, or even if there has been a breakup, or you were fired from your job, or something significant that has happened that has impacted your human emotions and human senses. Spirit is coming in, higher power is coming in to tell you that you are protected, because you have a very specific focus in life. And that focus also brings this energy where I'm getting that you are also the protector of your loved ones. So because you do a bit more, and it's a bit more spiritual, you are able to guide and protect your family, your friends, your co-workers, just by existing, just by doing these human things. Even if you're going to a regular 9 to 5 and you frequent the same places, you know, bars, restaurants, clubs, whatever, events, wherever you go, you are always placed there in such a specific way where you may not want to be noticed, or the noticing of other people makes you kind of anxious or jittery or nervous. It's the energy that I'm getting, but it's because you feel that people are watching you, people are thinking about you, people are talking about you. You can sense that. And you always have it. This is a past life memory for you. A lot is here about past lives. Even in the Romance Angels, we got past life relationship and religious factors. So anything that has to do with your love, right? Which is this universal code of existence, right? Anytime that you have shared love, received or gave, you have been put in this protection bubble, because the way you love is it's creating this shield of, I saw this, imagine if the sun was like pink and translucent. That's how an orb is kind of created around you of unconditional love, and it protects you from evil. So whenever you are being rejected or pushed away or forgotten about, you're actually being put in this, it's like a diamond encrusted bubble that has like rays of energy. So it kind of works like these love spikes, and that may irritate a lot of demonic entities within human vessels that are around you. So fear not, because we do have Kuan Yin. It's all about you being still in the future in this compassion energy, this equal give and take. So Kuan Yin, she's I think she's Chinese, a Chinese goddess, and she's represented by the lotus. So I'm getting a lot of different deities now, but I will not name them. It's more about the fact that you are encrusted and sitting on an energetic lotus that is pink. And you, this is a weird transmission, just bear with me. You have traversed many lifetimes and many timelines on this lotus. So you may resonate with growing up in horrible environments, critical conditions, or just being cast away, pushed away, being the black sheep, just being weird, being different. You could never really align with your friends per se. You just understood you carry a different storyline. You're carrying a different code of existence. So why you are here is quite vastly different than why most people around you are here. 144 could also be a significant number if you're resonating with this. We do have prosperity, awareness, and inspiration. A lot of blue, and this kind of looks similar to me, doesn't it? So we have the ocean of, in the Gaia deck, we got the ocean of eternal love. It says healing, creativity, and fertility. And then we have awareness kind of aligning with that. And this ocean carries a flame, right? So your emotions, even though they are coming from your water elementals and your body is mostly water, it's really important that you drink spring water, or if you don't have like quality tap water, it's, I guess, maybe better to buy it. But water is going to be very significant in this season whenever you're watching this, because it flushes out old energies as well as recalibrates all your organs, your blood, and everything. And we truly need water. So what I started doing was taking bike trips to get spring water. And it's like this little ritual that I have created because it's not far from me where I live. But I started noticing for, well, a long time now, but you know, we get used to certain scents if we are surrounded by them all the time. But I started noticing that our water, our tap water, just it has to be aired out because it has so much chlorine and other minerals and gases inside. So the quality of tap water has dropped, and it has been spring water has been really helpful in keeping my body unstressed. So you know, when I was processing grief and all these God whys, I really needed quality water to rebalance myself, to not be pushed into, I don't know, another wave of depression. I was like, we need to get back on path, right? So what's happening collectively is that we are healing through letting go of these horrible emotions, because sometimes most of the time, I believe that if we don't cry it out, yell it out, express ourselves, it is still, the emotion is still stored energetically in the body, and we layer other emotions over, right? So what I saw was like sadness, grief, anger, and then love kind of pushed onto it, and it just, you know, suppresses these emotions. And we can go on and on with this love that we're feeling, or something good is happening, but as soon as that good thing kind of, you know, dims down or something, these other emotions resurface. So it's really important to delayer our emotions and cry them out and yell them out, sing them out, because it's not just that just that we are full of water, right? In general, like more than 70%. We're kind of like the whole planet as well. This is a weird transmission, just bear with me, guys. Because we are walking along these paths. Each and every one of us has a human experience, right? So 1818 on a timer. These cycles are definitely closing out, but these are emotional cycles. So with each and every lunar cycle, what we are actually doing is, you know, clearing out old energies to have the space to bring in new energies, mostly love, right? Because love is kind of like counterbalance for each and every other, like each and every negative emotion. So yes, there are other positive emotions, but with love, you can conquer pretty much all negativity, all negative emotions. We do have one love here coming out in the Crystal Oracle deck, which says unconditional love. So if you have been struggling with romance, there's a message here that even rejection, even ghosting, even, you know, negative and positive things that come from relationships are gifts. They're gifts for you to grow, to recalibrate, to ask yourselves, what are my boundaries actually? Like, is this a moral code that I live by, or am I taking from my soul again? Because what's in your next season is actual love, it's unconditional love. So before we can get these sweet results and be at peace, we need to first heal here with the snake and 5-5. So then we can be in the fox energy, which is being very clever, right? Every situation teaches us to be more clever, to have that experience. Imagine if you hadn't had any experience in love whatsoever. Like, you've never dared to enter a relationship because you were too scared to get your feelings hurt and to love less. Well, if we're not taking a chance on love, we are not going to experience it. We're not going to go on that emotional journey of growth. So if you have somebody, it's about spending quality time together. It's about giving your personal attention and affection to them without any need for anything in return. Because I keep being pointed to talk about, I know that not many of you have seen that video. It's the Bhagavad Gita one. I think I should like rename it or something. But it's a really good storyline on senses and emotions. So if you haven't checked that out, it's the one before this one, I think. Us as human beings, we go through cycles, these emotional cycles. And it's really hard because we are coming from different planets where it was so much easier to love and to express and to be in that loving energy all the time. Coffee break. Yeah, so there's a message here about balancing out your confidence, your ego, and your self-image. And it has a lot to do with self-love. So there's so much loving energy in this reading, but I cannot translate it to you just yet. I don't know why, but we have to start with having the awareness, having the understanding that we are the ones that choose these battles within, right? So each pillar, each face in this card works as a pillar of consciousness, of you knowing who you are, you also understanding that you do not completely know who you are, and so much more. So what's happening on this gate, on this portal, on this timeline, is actually having the discernment. Maybe for some of you, for the first time in your life, you are okay without anybody. You're okay just the way you are. You're not waiting, you're not chasing, you're not running. You are just doing you. And the more you choose your battles wisely, the more you choose yourself and choose yourself with confidence, you also choose your highest timeline. Most of you are probably just clouded by the energy of anxiety or depression. So am I, don't get me wrong. But when these emotions arise, I'm getting tension in my neck. So I feel like most of you have certain things to communicate to relieve the pressure. If you do anything that you use your voice for, this might be a time where it would be better for you to be quiet or more quiet, less talkative, or just reserving that energy for your work that you do. So you may feel like you want to kind of reset your emotional cycle completely, just start anew, start from within, and also start working on yourself, creating those small new routines, something that tells your body and your nervous system that it's okay to love on yourself. 25-25. I completely relate to this, so I will speak from experience. I'm the type of person that puts so much effort. I'm so loyal. I can't even look at men when I have one. I get kind of nervous and shy, and I morph into another person. But in this timeline where I don't want to be with anybody, because I understand that I need to put a lot more into balancing out my day-to-day life and my human emotions with my spirit emotions, and put all of that energy I was used to putting in other people into myself. But I have this blockade inside of me where I still don't truly believe that I deserve anything good, right? So it's harder to give it to myself, because I don't know, humans are just like that. It's so easy to help another person, or to help them tidy up or clean something or move. But when it comes to you, it's hard for us to get off our butts sometimes. But it all stems from balancing and closing out the cycles of constant thinking of the most negative things, and understanding and kind of stopping yourself with a higher voice inside your head when they're fighting against each other and keeping you stuck in your old timelines. It's about recognizing when you have these thoughts of, feeling undeserving or feeling anxious or just in fear of something not going right or whatever. It's about recognizing when you do it, why you do it, and stopping yourself and trying to find something in that moment, by force if necessary, that is positive, because our brains don't work in a way that we would want them to work. If we are being sarcastic, if we are being cynical, out loud or inside, quietly, if we're negative, fearful, our brain does not differentiate sarcasm. It's like, oh, you're being a negative bitch, so you're a negative bitch now. And sometimes it's hard, or we almost need to write down affirmations or speak them and listen to them, or talk to ourselves in the mirror, because what we speak truly goes into the emotional body, and then we carry that. So when it comes to getting these negative fragments outside of ourselves, it takes that much more work, because we don't trust ourselves. We are used to self-sabotaging, right? And because you are a person that is here to thrive, you're here to shine, you're here to heal and be healing and be healed. It's like this. You are the star, you are the spinning Merkaba, you are a force of nature in your own vessel. So the way that your soul communicates to your vessel, it has nothing to do with those negative voices inside your head. Because I'm saying this because the Darkest Fears card was in the future. So if you are worrying about future, you're going to be worrying tomorrow, the day after that, and all of the futures. But if you collapse the timelines and say, I will stop worrying right now. Even if I don't believe it right now because I have worried for so long, I will tell myself that everything is okay. I am safe. I am loved. I am this and that. Or however your affirmations want to be expressed, they need to be expressed because our brain does not compute in a way that you might think. And then we have in the animal tarot oracle, we have zebra, which comes out with balance, which is another temperance card. She says, by merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. And there's birds flying, there's either a full moon or the sun. Can't really tell. That's how balanced you are. So your masculine and feminine energies, I'm being pointed to show you just this funky thing. So the light and the dark, this is how the zebra is formed, but it has its own pattern. So each and every one of us, we have these energetic patterns of balancing light and dark, right? But without either one, we cannot pop out as a pattern of existence. It's like a barcode, right? If you want to be scanned, you have to have a contrast, and each and every one has this light and darkness contrast within us. And sometimes it's highly beneficial for us to assess both and integrate both, right? It's not just about balancing new ideas, it's about balancing this internal light and darkness so the Merkaba can spin. If you don't know about Merkaba, just Google it. I hate saying Google it because I don't want to promote nobody, but it's just the way we all say it. We have the Lovers and then the Five of Summer. So in general, you may feel like certain relationships, soulmate friendships, stuff like that, it's falling apart. And you may feel disappointed either within yourself or in others. Wherever you are, Spirit is telling me to focus on your own heart and healing and transforming. So if you have been going through a breakup, even if it's a friendship breakup, it's highly necessary for these waters to flow. And I'm getting, if you're gonna have periods of rain, work with the elementals, with the rain, and imagine that it's washing your energetic field as well. 3333 on the timer when I looked up, and my nose is so itchy. So if your nose is itchy, this is a confirmation for you. The flamingo with the Lovers says, true and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. And that goes even if you don't have a person in your life. It's the relationship that you have with yourself that you need to maybe focus on, like I do, where it comes to long-lasting self-love. And by following your heart with caring actions and choices, you know, sometimes we don't really act the way we feel. We act by fear, not by love, right? So when we act from fear or insecurity or comparison, whatever it is, anything, insert a negative emotion, right? We're not able to make, you know, to live by our moral standards sometimes. That's why it's super important to have those pillars of consciousness very firm within yourself so nobody can sway you. Even if you lose people that you thought were soulmates or you thought were really important on your path, and they're going to be there until you're 85 at least, you may feel kind of disappointed or looking at it as the glass half empty, whereas you would normally look at it glass half full. Five of Cups just decided to be surrendered. It comes in with the animal dragonfly, and yesterday I went for some coffee, and I haven't seen a dragonfly like that before, but it looked very similar to this one, but it was, even the body was white. So I was like, I've never seen an almost all white dragonfly. So what I'm getting here, you know, dragonflies are usually linked to transformations and intuition, but I didn't take a picture of him. I just observed him because he was like dancing around crazily just so I would notice him. White definitely represents purity and that light, that source energy. It's, you know, before refraction into rainbow or a visual spectrum, light is just light. It's energy. So Dragonfly says, focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward. And we do have sunflowers that the seeds haven't ripened. I never noticed this card because I only look at the pictures when I talk to you guys. When I throw cards for myself, it's a different story. I just like, okay, put it back. And here I'm like, it's crying for you. But yeah, the dragonfly confirmed what I was saying, you know, because Five of Cups generally is this, you know, sad Batman energy of a lost friendship. So the 3 cups in front of him are spilled, whereas the 2 cups behind him are still standing. And it's just a marker for you, collective, to differentiate that, yes, sometimes we lose a friend or somebody that we have celebrated with or went through hardships together with. Whereas, because, you know, it's like when we are over focused on negativity, it's hard to focus on the gratitude and what we do have. So even though I don't have my black kitten, I still have, you know, of course, my sleeping Berta, my snake, and all these plants that keep growing and keep, you know, sunflower and at the right times. And I put in a lot of care into dusting them and watering them with spring water if possible, as well as Berta. You know, I go and sometimes bring her a couple of liters just so her pool can be majestically healing for her, because she doesn't deserve to have all these you know, chemicals in her drinking water and all these gases, because our water is, you can smell the chlorine. It's like I was drinking a pool. It doesn't seem healthy, you know. So let's go on. Yeah, as we read on the dragonfly, so that you can move onward and upward. And then I turn over this beautiful Gaia card with a dove and number 11, which is a master number. It's spirit co-creating with you. And it's like moving onward and upward, but in a different card. I don't know how to translate this, but it's like lifting beyond. So we have freedom, resolution, and clarity coming out with this card. And it all comes from this ocean of eternal love. Even though you may feel sad or, you know, in these processes of still processing energy, I just want to show you, because right underneath is this one, and it's about gratitude and reconnecting to your spiritual and emotional self, which is to me interesting from a reader's perspective, because the other card we got was cleansing with water. So it's about, yeah, emotional cleansing and also feeling youthful. And I just realized I showed you a nudie. YouTube ain't gonna like that. What I'm trying to say is, if you are processing heavy emotions, being in nature, especially near bodies of water, even if it's just for a few minutes, it's going to, with the sound and the sight and your senses, water truly recalibrates us in so many ways. Even if we're just sitting by a stream, or going to hike to a waterfall, or look at the river or the ocean, or just the rain, you know, it emotionally cleanses and creates space, especially after these emotional heat waves and physical heat waves that we have been going through. The rain, when it comes in, it you know, releases tension. It washes away a lot of dirt, emotional and physical. I'm not feeling that. Let's check out the light oracle. We have nourish and light beings. It's cute. So we have nourish, which is this milk and honey energy, but it's a planetary alignment. It's a star alignment. So the more you align with yourself and the planet, the more you're able to integrate all the nourishment, because I'm getting that self-care will be something newly added to your list. Like, you may have been running around the world not taking care of yourself, like truly taking care of yourself. What do I want to eat? What do I want to drink? How do I want my day to look? And how, you know, how does strength look to me? How does love look to me? Meaning, how do I see these things from my perspective? It's not, I'm getting that it might be a hard step to taking care of yourself, truly trusting your intuition and your emotion and your path. Because if we incarnate to please and justify other people and their behaviors, and you know, invest so much of energy into them, we're not living our own lives. We give our role and tell God in a way that I'm fine with playing a side quest. I'm fine with playing a side role. Whereas we need to understand that we are creators and destructors of our own lives. So usually light beings have to come in so many ways. Either they'd be spirit animals, they'd be ancestors, guides, God himself, you know, Jesus Christ, Arcturians, Pleiadians, you name it. Because the more you look without your eyes, and the more you sense without these human senses, the more you are embedded into source codes. If you think from a universal perspective, you're going to act in universal ways. You're going to act in a way that protects the planet, protects the waters, the animals, the people, the children of Gaza, everybody, you know? And yeah. There's a message for Divine Feminine here. 272 could be a significant synchronicity, as well as 727. So I'm getting this for a very specific group or very few people. Divine Feminines, you are goddesses that have a beautiful reflection and a beautiful refraction of light within and outside of you. You are going through healing your codependencies, your addictions, your anything that has ever kept you back, anything that has ever damaged your soul, the way you love, or even your intuition. You're realigning and reconnecting with the universal love from source. And citrine is going to be helpful for you to clear out the last few things that are still kind of attached to your solar plexus. Gold will be also very helpful for you to ascend into the master that you need to be. You're closing out this very long cycle of addictions, be it relationships or anything else, unnameable. You need to start becoming addicted to loving yourself. You need to start becoming addicted to enjoying what you see in the mirror, because the mirror will be your best friend for the next few timelines. You will be able to see your face in a different way. You're going to be also having these dreams of higher lucidity. You're going to be able to recognize yourself in dreams and understand who you are and what your path is. And whenever your subconscious gets as strong as that, that means your conscious has all the way and all the tools to create your highest timelines. So what's happening is a crown opening. I feel tension in my third eye because there's so much energy going through this awakening for you. So nourish yourselves. Your light beings are always around you. You will need to be very cunning towards some people, but it's all because you will be looking like you're avoiding people, or you will be looking like you don't have time for most people from your past, but it's because you have this hyper focus. Getting like the eyes of the fox, they're on a mark. It doesn't really show very well, but in the card she's looking away, but when I looked at the card she was looking me straight into my fucking soul. And also I was being pointed in my mind's eye to Artemis, which she is holding a bow and an arrow, and she's ready to make her mark. You are ready to make your mark on this planet. You're ready to create a legacy. Anything else? Oh, I really wanted to read you about the almond, and I think that's where we'll finish. Your yearning for truth and the meaning of life are heard in the depths of the universe. Divine wisdom sends the key, and the door stands close by. You will be beautiful and bring blessings to all. That's the first message. Then we have the spruce, which is Big Daddy Spruce. The breadth of space and the depth of the earth stream through the eye of the needle. The secret of living. Above and below penetrate each other and create life. The meeting is perfect. Put it in the comments what you felt when I read these, because I had some ideas, but I wonder how you interpret these. And last but not least, we have myrrh, which, let's just preface this with, myrrh is one of the best scents to open up your crown chakras and your third eyes as well. So if you are the type of person that connects through scent, myrrh is going to help you boost your connection to source, because it's such a high vibrating scent. I think it was even used by like Mary or Mary Magdalene. I'm not sure. You know, put it in the browser. 49.49 on the timer. Myrrh. The oracle is on the end. Be aroused, devoted heart, and send a prayer. It is time to give thanks and send blessings to all of creation. Love rises higher than devotional smoke and wraps the entire earth as wide as the heart. So, as I said earlier, that you're being encrusted in this pink sun of diamond form, that's how the more we love, the more we expand that over the whole planet. And if you're doing meditation or visualizations, just imagine our beautiful earth being encrusted in this pink diamond shield, and it goes from your heart and it expands and, you know, encrusts the whole planet. That's how we are able to send love throughout the planet without, you know, much effort. It's the least we can do. And with recalibrating ourselves onto our paths of love and light, we're not forgetting the darkness that we have gone through or that we have to carry within. 5115. We are in a timeline where, yes, these are hard things to do because we've been so used to being low and depressed and anxious and fearful that we forget what it's like to be in these childlike joy spaces of wonder and exploration and meeting new people, and always knowing that wherever you are, you're at the right place at the right time, especially if you're able to hear and actually listen to your intuition and avoid or go into certain new spheres of existence. It's all for growth. So even though sometimes people act like lizards, we're not doing anything else but shedding the old skin and moving on, because, you know, a lot of people are afraid of snakes, but they're just a primal energy of, you know, either fear of, or either fear or creation, in a way where it's about transcending our old bodies. So we are constantly growing in these spirits, right? We're constantly outgrowing people and situations and environments. 5252, because everything has a gift. It's all about these miracles and blessings and the good things in life, right? So I like to not feel like a complete psychopath sometimes, but I feel like I have gone through so much trauma in my life that these processes are just quicker. You know, my understanding is much better. It's so many truths are constantly being revealed to me that I cannot stay in grieving for long, right? Because I'm happy I am able to, but I'm able to integrate these souls that have been with me, within animals or my ancestors or whatever. Not so much actual people, you know, friends and stuff, but whenever something so pure as a, you know, 3-month-old kitten, you know, passes away when you thought that God had different plans, God still has the same plan. It's to not be stuck in grieving, because if my eyes are wet and I'm at home alone and crying all day, missing my kitten I barely got to know, and think of it from a universal perspective of, at least he's not in pain anymore. He didn't have more than a few % chance of survival. Therefore, the plan was already in motion. It was a horrible lesson for me, but I'm just glad that that little kitten didn't have to be outside on the cold and alone and sick as well, right? So at least he got some tuna and a little purse, and you know, the story is way more cute and depressing at the end of the day. But as soon as we are able to reconnect to unconditional love, we are able to see that all these souls have had to be around us for that exact specific amount of time. And that's the lesson in its own, right? Because when I expand my consciousness, light beings are thinking of me as much as I'm thinking of the light beings. And then I realized that last year I got to pick between these, we call them a luck stone, and I don't know who does these, but they have a whole movement and they paint stones. So I picked this black kitten. It was when I was still working at the refugee camp, and now he's just here with me in a little pocket stone, right? But he's also here with me in my heart, like forever, because he was the type of kitten that I literally manifested. He was like a little doggy, you know, super chill, sleeping all the time, purring every time you touch him. And he was the type of kitten that would let you pet his belly and his paws. And we had this thing where I would like put my finger up against his paws and he would just, you know, like grab it a little bit, but I didn't get one scratch from him. That's how gentle he was. And I had 3 cats prior, for a very short time when I was a kid, because my mom always was, you know, faking she's allergic. But even with this kitty, I named him Void. Even with this kitty, my mom was like, she understood what was happening on a, you know, this intuitive level, because he even had like a little white spot here, just like my doggy did. And he was at like 3 or maybe 3.5 months old when I found him. And he had these little white, he was a black cat, but he had a few white furs on his ears. So it was kind of like my doggy, but in a kitten, you know, it was so weird. We had such an instant connection. And the way I carried him home was like, I just, you know, how you grab kittens by their neck, like their mothers. And I just held him on my shoulder. So the next 2 days when he would cuddle up to me and I tried to like put him down, he would grab a little bit like, no, mom. So, you know, we bonded instantly. And it's horrible. I don't have money physically. I have absolutely no jobs right now because I've been going through hardcore PTSD from domestic violence. But you know, I'm trying my best, and I applied to work on festivals, and it would be not fair to just, you know, leave the kitten with my mom and everything. So whatever's meant for me, whatever kitten or doggy or person is meant for me, they will always find me, even if it's for 3 days or 3 months or 3 years, because the love that we share, it goes through space and time. It's like radio waves, but it's an electromagnetic field of consciousness. And the more we are loving, you know, towards ourselves, and the more we are able to refocus on building ourselves up from all these different angles, especially while or after going through traumatizing events, that's what gives us power. That's what gives us the capacity to love even more. Yeah. we will definitely need to stay positive, because staying positive and staying loving literally raises the vibration of the whole planet. 5959. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing. I love you all. I'm sorry, I'll try to come out with a banger next time, not just these collective oracle readings. I know you get a lot from them, but it's just the energy that has to be spoken up about, transmuted, and I hope these help. If they do, please leave a comment or write me an email, alk.guidance@gmail.com. If you want to tell me a personal story, I would love to hear or speak to any of you guys over there. And yeah, see you in the next one. Love you, bye!